Hello, my name is Wade Black, and today we're going to be going through the TQA Feed Lot Phase 1 score sheets. To start off with, we're going to review some of the horse training and stockmanship definitions promoted in the TQA program. First, we have willing submission, which is after initial cue, the horse does the job on a loose rein and no leg pressure, meaning it's the horse's idea. Next, direction or flexion, which is when slack is taken out of the reins, the horse puts the slack back in the reins with suppleness through the pole and the loin, often called a soft feel. Next, we have the foundation of maneuvers, or the ability to direct the horse's feet in any direction to accomplish any job. And with this, we look for 4 revelations to get through to the feet with willing submission. The first one is stage 1, which is stopping the inside front foot and walking all the other feet forward around it or disengaging the hindquarters. We want a horse to freely be able to move his hindquarters left to right. Stage 2, which is using the hindquarters to pull the horse in a reverse motion, different than using his front feet to push the horse in reverse motion. When they pull with their hindquarters, they round their back and their head comes down. When they push with their front feet, they hollow their back and their head comes up. Stage 3, which is the front feet and hind feet moving together in a lateral motion for a side pass or a 2-track. And stage 4, which is stopping the inside hind foot and walking all the other feet forward around it for a rollback or a spin and to be able to turn with the cow. Next, we have the stockmanship definitions, and we define stockmanship as the ability to read flight zone or pressure zone and balance point to influence the speed and direction of an individual animal or entire herd of animals. Flight zone is the area or bubble around an animal that, when encroached upon, will ignite their self-preservation of flight, fight, or freeze. Pressure zone is the area or bubble around an animal that causes movement in response to a presence. The big difference between flight zone and pressure zone is when we ignite their flight zone, we're pushing the animal into their sympathetic nervous system, which is high energy and high stress. Pressure zone, the animal is staying in their parasympathetic nervous system, which is low stress. Balance point is the point on the animal that influences the direction of the animal, either forward, backward, or stopping. Now, as we apply these definitions to the feedlot phase 1 score sheet, there's 3 different parts: the gait, cow turns, and roping the dummy. With the gait, the rider will be required to open and close the gate, showing off the horse's foundation, which is the 4 stages with willing submission and vertical direction, and the horse's overall temperament while opening and closing the gate. Both of those will be worth 10 points. Next is the cow turns, where the rider will show their understanding of the horsemanship and stockmanship vocab words to get the cow to turn in and away both directions. The rider will have to call which direction they are turning the animal before they turn it, and then use their horsemanship skills to position their horse to influence the speed and direction of an animal to get their turns. Both of these will be worth 10 points. Next, the rider will be required to rope the dummy using 3 different shots that we promote in this program: the sneak loop, the money shot, and the fancy loop. We'll discuss this later in the video. In this part, the rider will be scored on the degree of difficulty and the efficiency, meaning catching on the first loop. Both of these, the rider will be scored 10 points each. In all of these, they're 1 to 10 points. The rider will start at a 5 when it's being judged. They'll start at a 5, and then they're either given plus or minuses from 5, depending on how they do. Okay, so now we'll go through an example of open and closing the gate. You can see the rider is side passing or showing the stage 3 up to the gate. One things I like to see here is when they side pass up to the gate, if they can just put their hand down and have the horse stand quiet. You can see here the horse is a little bit fidgety, would kind of like to walk away here. So on the temperament score, I might just keep him kind of at a 5 here. You can see him open the gate. When they open the gate, I like to see the rider keep his hand on the gate the entire time. We can see stage 1, which is pivoting around, the hindquarters pivoting around the front feet. We'll walk through the gate here. See him do some stage 3 or side passing as he goes through the gate. And then into stage 2, which is using the hindquarters to pull the horse in reverse motion. The horse's head doesn't come up a whole lot through that, but he didn't show a lot of vertical flexion or collection either. See the horse kind of kicked his butt out there just a little bit, kind of showing a little bit of fidgety there that I Maybe just keep him at a 5 here. We'll switch around. We'll see some stage 1, which is pivot around inside front foot there again, moving his butt over. We'll switch hands here. We'll open the gate to the left, reach down, show some stage 3 to side pass, open the gate. He's doing a pretty good job on the 4 stages here. I'd like to see this horse's head come into his hand a little bit. You can see him kind of coming up as he's picking up on the bridle. See some stage 4, which is pivot around the inside hind feet as he steps across there. Side passes up to close the gate. As a whole, he did a pretty good job on the foundation, showing the 4 stages. I would like to see a little bit more vertical flexion, but I'd give him maybe a 6 or 7 on the foundation. On the temperament, the horse was a little bit fidgety there, but I'd still probably give him a 6. Okay, so now we're looking at the cow turns, which will show off the rider's understanding of horsemanship and stockmanship vocab words there. We'll see him right up here. He'll point away, so he designated he's turning the cow away to the right. He'll come up, get on the balance point, and turn the cow away. Both ways here, he showed off his stage 4, which is pivot around an inside hind foot. He got the cow to turn away. He designated he's turning away to the left. Here you can see him kind of step that horse's butt over. Then he'll back him up a step. Then he'll do some stage 4 here. He comes way out of the flight zone. He designated he's turning the cow in to the left. When he's turning in, they'll point with their thumb backwards. One thing that's a little bit different here than, say, cutting or reining is we're staying further out of the flight zone and we're practicing stockmanship, staying out a little bit. And so trying to promote being softer and a little bit quieter with your horse. He's a little bit sticky there through the turns. His head come up, so I dock him on that. But his overall temperament on that horse is really quiet and soft, something that would look good, say, at a feedlot or riding through roe deer, nice and quiet. His stockmanship, I'd score him at 8, showed a good understanding of that. The foundation vocab words, I'd probably score him a 6, so it'd average out 7 on the horsemanship.
Okay, so the last thing that we look for in the phase 1 feedlot is the sneak loop. We really try to promote the sneak loop. So we'll do the gate, get him to turn in and away both ways, and then just come rope the dummy, which there'd be a little bit of overlap in this drill from the ranch roping. And in that one, we swing twice, and we're trying to promote 3 different shots. The first one is what I call the money shot. Okay, and if you're maybe a little bit of an inexperienced roper, and this is the only one that you want to try to do, that's fine. Okay, so on this one, we're ahead of the balance point. I want you to do stage 3 or side pass, step behind the balance point and take your shot. This is a really easy way to set up your shot with the steer. The other thing I want you to practice doing is having 1 coil in your loop. Okay, so we're going to practice our stockmanship to get a shot on this cow. Okay, so this is a way I can slow down that animal through getting just a little bit ahead of the balance point. I can step behind the balance point, pushing forward. If I have 1 coil in my hand, I'll be able to throw it a little bit further. The more you swing, the more you're going to ignite that cow's self-preservation. So if you can kind of get him soft and given, that helps. And then I'm ahead of the balance point. Okay, you do stage 3 to step behind the balance point and take your shot. So like I said, it's 2 swings and throw. It's one of the things I really try to promote. 2 swings, throw. Okay, pull your slack and dally. Okay, and realistically, you got a slick horn, so if you were roping something big, better take at least 2 or 3 swings there. 2 or swing dallies. I'm sorry, not 2 swings, 2 or 3 dallies if you're roping something big. So practice doing that. The other thing is, beginners, make sure to keep your horse straight. Okay, so that's 1 shot. If you're a beginner, just do that shot. Practice that shot 3 times in a row. Okay, if you want to try to do some of these other shots, I'll show you these other ones. So part of your score on this is on your horsemanship. Okay, the other part is on the degree of difficulty. On the roping part, you have the degree of difficulty and then efficiency. So if you catch 3 in a row, obviously that's about as efficient as you can be. if you say put a coil in your hand on all three, that's going to beat someone that doesn't put a coil. The other thing I'm going to talk about, two other shots that I use all the time is the sneak loop and I call it the fancy shot. I don't know, that's just what I call them. One of them's a hula hand or a backhand, I guess. Be more of a hula hand. And this is one over here I'll do right now. I call the sneak loop. And if I have to catch something, this is probably what I use more than anything. I'll be right here. That cow's going that way. I can swing over on this side of my horse and the cow doesn't see it coming. Okay, so I'm going to be ahead of the balance point. I'm going to go this way, swing twice, throw over my horse, and then you see right here I have to flip my rope over and then come back and dally. Okay, so I'm riding this way. I throw my rope. Okay, I throw it over there. Then I need to flip, bring my horse back this way, and dally. So I call that the sneak loop. So we had the money loop, we had the sneak loop, and then the last one we call the money shot. And I'd say the money shot, the sneak loop is about, or the money shot and this fancy shot is about what I do most of the time if I have to try to catch something sneaky. So the other one I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to be riding this way. One thing about it's a little bit different if we're trying to get a sneak loop. It's a little bit different than say team roping and calf roping and breakaway. In all of those, I'm going right straight behind the animal. If I'm going right straight behind the animal, they don't like me in the blind spot and they're going to start going faster. Walk, trot, lope. But basically, if you're ranch roping and you miss these a time or two, the sneak loop, then you have to run up in the middle and catch them. And we do that in this program too, because that's a very real part of doctoring outside. But as far as TQA and promoting low stress on livestock, by far the best is if you can catch the sneak loop. So that's what we try to promote in this program. So we did the money shot, we did the sneak loop, and then this is what I call the fancy shot. So it's the same thing. I'm riding this way. I throw a backhand. Okay. Dally, come back this way. So all it is just a backhand. I'll kind of let me show that one more time, because a lot of times the angle of your loop has a lot to do with that. In your backhand, a lot of times people, especially beginners, when they go to do it, they swing straight up and down like this. Well, look how big my loop is. My loop is only, well, not that big around, right? If I'm straight up and down, and they'll try to go like this and they'll throw it like that, and you can, but it's a lot easier if I flatten my loop out. See how big my loop is now? Okay, that's a lot easier. See, if I'm riding this way, I'm riding by the animal this way, it's a lot easier to flatten my loop out. When I go to throw it, see how big my loop is versus coming straight up and down like that. I can actually rope them both ways. I can go like that. It's just, I have to be a lot more precise when I'm throwing straight up and down like that. So I'll do that again. I was going to ride by this way. Like I said, I like to promote one coil. As you get the hang of that, maybe even do two coils. Okay, we're riding out here. Our loop is flat. We're throwing our loop out there, dallying. Okay, and then coming back, taking one or two, at least two dallies, okay? Anyway, so that's the competition. In the phase one, we have the gate, where we're going through the horsemanship, where we're promoting the TQA vocab words, which is horizontal, vertical direction in the 4 stages with willing submission. We have, and then the temperament, that horse nice and quiet on the gate. We have the cows, which we're promoting, again, the foundation on the horse and stockmanship, which is the ability to influence speed and direction, ability to read flight zone and balance point, to influence the speed and direction of a cow. And then we have roping, promoting those 3 different shots, trying to get the sneak loop. And so that was the phase 1 feedlot.